Hey guys, Curtis Alexander. Can low carb diets cause insulin resistance? Turns out it can, despite what some of the gurus tell you. So let's talk about that. So just a little background. If this is one of my first videos you've watched, I was a extreme low carb dieter for over a decade, well over a decade. Did daily fasting. I thought carbs were the devil. Bottom line is I start feeling poorly 3 or 4 years ago, going to the doctor, diagnosed with insulin resistance. I was back in a pre-diabetic range with my blood sugars. Also diagnosed with Hashimoto's thyroiditis. I will talk about the connection between carbs and that in a second or in another video. Doing the time restricted feeding, I was probably under 50 grams of carbs routinely. Not every day, most days. Some days it was much less. So it was a shock to me at that time that I go into the doctor and she's like, you're showing signs of diabetes as far as your blood sugar control. So what in the world was going on? And so let me just kind of break it down for you in a few steps. First of all, you have to remember glucose is your body's preferred fuel source. It can use other ones, but it prefers glucose. And the reason why is it's going to give you the biggest bang for your buck as far as producing ATP. Your mitochondria inside all your trillions of cells take the food you eat and convert it to ATP. When it gets glucose, it's much easier. It can take glucose, it can take thyroid hormone, which is important, takes oxygen, minerals, and it makes ATP. That is your energy source. It's like an engine converting gas into power, moving the wheels. But the problem is when we cut or we severely limit glucose, your body's first response is to tell your adrenal glands, okay, kick out some stress hormones because we need to make energy in a different way because we're not getting enough glucose. So it will do that. It'll increase stress hormones. Now, what the adrenals do, number two here, is it will increase cortisol and it will increase adrenaline. Okay. Adrenaline is kind of our fight or flight. When adrenaline goes up, it's interesting. It goes to your fat cells and it pulls out free fatty acids. And I want to point out that's not always a great thing because a lot of people eat a diet that's high in seed oils or polyunsaturated fatty acids. So you're releasing those. But we get the free fatty acids from the fat cells. This sounds great, right? In theory, we're breaking down the fat. This is keto. This is all this stuff. But the problem with free fatty acids is they actually block the action of insulin. And that's not a good thing because insulin's job is to take glucose and get it into the cell so you can get the energy that you need. So because it's blocking insulin, we're going to see insulin levels rise, okay? So this forces your body to use free fatty acids because it's blocking insulin. So it uses free fatty acids for fuel, but your cells they cannot use the free fatty acids and the glucose at the same time. So this causes even more insulin to go out, more insulin resistance. It's kind of a cycle. Now, I want to point out when I first went the low carb route, my sugars went down. I felt better. There was kind of this honeymoon period, let's call it. So this took me years to get to this point, but I wanted to make this video because I get more and more people who watch my nutrition videos that kind of go against the grain of what most gurus are saying, because I get more feedback from people and they're like, I'm starting to have a lot of problems doing keto, doing carnivore long term, and they have a tough time controlling their blood sugars. They don't feel good. This is part of the reason why. So let me know in the comments, guys, if you've experienced those issues. Let me know, because number one, I appreciate your guys' feedback, and I know other people that watch the video appreciate the feedback, because when you tell people stuff like this, they kind of think you're nuts, but this is what's going on in your body, and this is part of the reason you see issues. If you want to explore other topics like this, go to my website. I'll put a link in the description. I talk a lot more about nutrition and some other very important natural therapies on there as well. So hope this was helpful, guys. See you in the next one. Thank you.